You about to get signed today. Signed today.
Wow.
Hey, it is Maya Marie, and today I wanted to talk to you about how do you get signed to a modeling agency. You might have already started applying, or you might not, and you want to know. Either way, this video is for you. I decided to sit outside today because it feels so good, so that's why you're gonna hear the birds chirping and whatnot. But hopefully you can focus on my voice because there are a lot of birds. I recently got signed to an agency here in Texas called The Blog Agency, and I recently signed to them as a commercial model, commercial and print. And what that basically means is I am doing ads, social media, commercials, TV. So if you are wondering what kind of model you want to be, I make a whole video about that because there's a lot of different models you can be. But let's keep it short and simple. If you have a unique face, do editorial. If you have a unique face and you're tall, do runway. If you have a regular face, normal average face, and normal average height, do commercial and print. And if you have like very attractive body features, that sounds weird, but it's true, then do body modeling, parts modeling. There's a lot of other ones, but I'll get into the details in a different video. This video, we can use sign. We can use sign.
Hold on that. Hold on. Now hold on.
So the first step is not going to be exciting. Nobody really wants to do this, but network. If you are recently moved into an area or you already live there for a while, go look on Instagram, maybe even TikTok, but more so Instagram. They might have collectives out. Collectives like people have came together. Photographers, makeup artists, hairstylists, models, they all come together and work with each other to produce something. So usually it's like a photo shoot. So they have those networking experiences, collectives. They might call it networking group. They might call it probably just like networking group. So look on your Instagrams and search as much as you can because it's fashion. So it's probably already in your area. And if you are in a small area, go to the nearest city. That's the best bet for you. I will say, it is hard to get signed if you are not in or near a city. So if you are able to, be flexible with your travel. And when you do submit your applications, make sure you say that you are flexible with your travel as well, because that's what they want. These agencies want to see somebody who live close to them so that when you get casted for something, it's in the area. You're already close. They don't have to pay you for travel time and all that stuff. So the purpose of this networking is not just to use people, to use photographers, but really create connections. Because when that photographer goes out into the photography world and somebody says to him, we're looking for a model, your name might pop up because they have a genuine connection with you. So that happened with me with a lot of designers. That's how I first started out. I did not know what I was doing. I started like 2021. I did not know what I was doing. So I stepped into the runway world. And there I met designer after designer. So that's another thing. You need to go to those casting calls for the local fashion shows in your area. Even if it's New York Fashion Week, girl, you can do it. Test it out. Test the waters. Even if you are not tall, you don't have a unique face, try runway. Because a lot of the times these fashion shows are just a space for you to practice being in front of the cameras and also get those connections in. So then you might have a designer reach out to you and say, oh, well, I need models for my social media. Can you come and do a photo shoot with me? So this is like free collaboration. You need to do anything you can to build your portfolio. It's crazy and it's weird to say, maybe it's just me, but I realize that agencies want to see you already developed. They don't want to have to go through the development with you. So they want to see that you can pose, you know how to tell a story with your face. They want to know that you are professional, that you can get to places on time.
She not talking to me like.
So you have to do the work on your own beforehand. Before you even start applying to agencies, you need to do the work on your own. You need to be building your portfolio, making your connections, knowing what type of model you want to be, what type of model will fit you best. Not really what you want to be, because you might want to be editorial, but you might not have the look for it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be real with yourself. All right, so the next thing you want to do is build that comp card. What is a comp card? Well, a comp card is this. It's where you are showing your raw self. You just want your face to be recognizable and your name to be remembered. So this comp card is going to look like this. The bottom has all my contact information, phone number, email, all of my measurements. That is so important. That brings me to my next point. You want to go ahead and measure yourself. You want to measure your bust, your hips, your waist. You want to know your shoe size, your height, and your weight. You can get a measuring tape to do this. It's really easy. So do this like really early on, because if you feel after you measure yourself that you're not where you want to be, then you have some time to work on it. You know, you have some time to slim down if you need to, or maybe the opposite. You want to grow in certain areas, maybe the hips. So yeah, measure yourself early on, like before you even start applying, because you're gonna need to be honest in those applications. Don't even try to lie. Don't even try to lie. It's not worth it, because when they see you in person, they're gonna measure you, and it's gonna be embarrassing.
Embarrassing! Call was declined.
So what I did with my comp cards, I just handed them out at every single fashion show that I was in. I handed it out to the makeup artists, designers that I potentially wanted to work with, and all that stuff. So I know today is a digital world, so you can have your comp card digitally and have it in a QR code, but I find that paper copies are easier, because people, not easier, well, easier for you, but people are more likely to remember, oh, let me email this person, or let me contact them, because they have like a paper copy. Whereas if they have it on their phone, they could just forget about it easily. So the preference is yours. You can have both too, if that's what you feel. But at the end of the day, comp card is necessary. Alrighty, how is that social media page looking? Let's be honest. What you posting on there? Let's be real. Do we need to revamp it? Yes, these agencies literally look at all of your social media pages. What are they looking for? They're not looking for somebody who does not look put together. They do not want somebody who is rude, who is trolling, who is controversial, because being with an agency is like being with a company. The company or agency wants you to reflect who they are as an agency, their values and all that stuff. So if you are like making fun of people, trolling people, or you're posting rude things, or you look crazy on the internet, you're doing crazy stuff just for attention, like, they are not gonna sign you. I can guarantee you that. So clean up your social media page if you want to. It's a beast out here. I'm not gonna lie. Being in the model world is a beast. Like,
I don't know, I just don't think this is like right for me. I don't want to do it.
it took me 4 years to get signed. I'm not saying that's gonna be you, because I'm giving you everything. I'm giving you everything that I learned in 4 years. I'm giving it to you all right now. So you can skip those 4 years, hopefully. But anyways, it took me 4 years. And I had so much rejection. I applied to agency after agency. I applied to over 100 agencies at least once a year and got rejected every year up until just recently. I recently got signed to an agency about 6 months ago. I think a little over 6 months. But anyways, that doesn't really matter. So I don't want you to be like me. I don't want it to take you 4 years to get signed. So let me tell you what mistake I made. What I did was I started applying to the higher end agencies, your Wilhelmina, your Ford models. No, they don't want somebody who's starting out, who hasn't been signed to anybody. This is like your executive director role. You need to start entry level. What are those local agencies in your area? The smaller ones. They are more likely to choose you over Wilhelmina. Wilhelmina has thousands of models applying every day, and a good percentage of those models have been doing modeling for years. So you need to start small. Humble yourself, because that's what I had to do. But start early, don't waste time like me. I don't know about you, but I did not care how desperate I looked. At the end of the day, I wanted something and I did what I needed to do to get there. I need a preface. That was my preface, because what I'm about to say is not fun. I made an Instagram account just to show my pictures, my portfolio, my measurements, and all of that. I also made that page so that I can reach out to people. Yes, networking in person is valuable, but also networking online is just as valuable. I went on Instagram and I looked up photographers in my area. I asked them if they wanted to collab. I was not nervous about rejection at that point. I've already been rejected many times from agencies. At that point, I was reaching out to any and everybody. And that was so good, because I might have reached out to 15 photographers, but I got that one yes, and I got that one photo shoot. I was reaching out to brands, designers, big companies, small companies. I was just like showing my face everywhere I could. I was sending my pictures, I was sending my measurements, where I'm located, what I'm looking for. Again, what I'm looking for. Why I'm contacting them. You cannot reach out to these people and just say like, hey, he's me. No, you gotta reach out to them and come to them with an action. Okay, can we collab? I don't know, just think of something. But what I was trying to say is, it needs to come with an action. You need to leave them with a question so that they will be more likely to reply. But yeah, I was looking desperate. Like, I was reaching out to everybody, and that desperation paid off big time, because they saw the passion, they admired the passion, and all it took was one yes. All it took was one yes. I created so many relationships through Instagram. From photographers to designers to brands to agencies. You can even reach out to agencies. After you submit your application, you can let them know that you submitted it. They see that you want to be with that agency specifically, that you went out of your way to contact that agency specifically. That makes them a little more likely. If not, they've seen your face, they've seen your name, and that will be, subconsciously, they will remember that. They remember your face, they will remember your name. Give it a try. Don't be afraid to look desperate. I'm telling you. Do not be afraid to look desperate. You know how many people are out here trying to go for the gold and reach the gold because they were hungry for it? You know how many people are out here trying to be sign models? You gotta be the one that stands out from the crowd. You gotta take that extra inch. So the last thing that you need to have before you start applying is your digitals. So these were my digitals. This is from a few years ago, honestly. So you do need to have like digitals that have been updated within the past 6 months. But yeah, you need to have like headshot, full length, profile, waist up, and that's really the main ones that you need. And it does not have to be professional, like, at all. You don't need to pay. You don't need to pay to get these pictures done. You can literally be out here in natural light, like I am. Wear your all black, and your black leggings or your jeans or whatever, and just natural. Barely any makeup, barely doing, you know, anything to your hair like heat or anything like that, and just boom, done. Start submitting. So you've done all these things. You network, you created your comp card, you found agencies that are more your speed, more in the entry level wave, and you've taken your digitals. Now you are ready to start the application process. And the application process, surprisingly, is the easiest part. These applications simply ask for your name, for your address, your measurements, your digitals, your location, and that's it. You just submit them. You just submit them. So, happy applying. Get started now. The sooner the better. You want to apply to these agencies. Remember where you applied. So if you don't hear back 6 months later, you apply again. You apply again and again and again and again and again and again. Hey, this might not be easy. This might not be quick. This is not going to be a little quick thing. This is a skill. This is a passion, a desire. This is like a side gig. It's going to take work. It's going to take effort. But you've got this. You look good already. First step is done. You already look good. All you got to do is put the work in. Happy applying. Let me know if you have any questions. If you have any personal questions, here's my Instagram. You can DM me. Feel free. I'm more than happy to help you. And I'll see you next week. Bye.